Right now, everyone is asking the same questions about The Old Guard 3. Will there be a third movie? Is Netflix really making it? When is the release date? Who will be in the cast? And how will the story continue after that huge ending in the second film? Because The Old Guard 2 ended in a place where, honestly, it feels almost impossible for this story to stop here. The finale, the cast's comments, and the way this universe has been built are all telling us something very strongly. All the pieces are on the table for The Old Guard 3. So in this video, we're going to break down the things people are most curious about under 4 major topics and talk clearly about everything you need to know about The Old Guard 3. Is The Old Guard 3 being made? Will it happen? Has it been confirmed? This is the question people are asking the most about The Old Guard 3 right now. Is the third movie really coming? Is it being made? Has Netflix confirmed it? Now, here I need to separate the official answer from my own interpretation. Officially speaking, Netflix has not come out and said, yes, The Old Guard 3 is coming yet. So right now, we do not have an announced filming date, an official production announcement, or a clear confirmation from Netflix. But when we look at the real situation, I think there is a very strong chance that this third movie will happen. In fact, speaking for myself, I find it almost impossible to believe that this story ends here. Because The Old Guard 2 ends in a way that does not say, the story is over. On the contrary, it says, the real big chapter is just beginning. Discord is still out there. The team is in major danger. Andy is back in the fight, and Nile's story is only now truly starting to grow. And this is not just something we think as fans. The creator of this universe, Greg Rucka, previously talked about how this story could be told as a 3-part structure. So the world of The Old Guard was never really built like a small story meant to end with only 2 movies. After the second film, director Victoria Mahoney also did not completely close the door on the possibility of a third movie. In fact, she said she supports a third film, while only making it clear that she would not be in the director's chair. So the most honest answer under this topic is this. The Old Guard 3 has not been officially confirmed yet, yes. But where the story is now, where the ending left things, and the comments from the team all tell me one thing. This movie will most likely happen. The real question right now is when Netflix will announce it, what schedule they will follow, and when they will officially press the button for the third film. When will The Old Guard 3 be released? Is the release date confirmed? Now let's move on to the other question people are most curious about. When will The Old Guard 3 be released? Questions like, The Old Guard 3 release date. When is The Old Guard 3 coming out? And when is The Old Guard 3 arriving are coming up a lot right now, even under my older videos. But we need to be clear here. There is currently no official release date announced for The Old Guard 3. Because the movie has not even been officially announced by Netflix yet. But we do have a timeline. The first, The Old Guard movie was released in 2020. And The Old Guard 2 came to Netflix on the 2nd of July 2025. So there was roughly a 5-year gap between the 2 movies. That's why, even if the third movie gets approved, expecting it to arrive within just a few months or a year would not be realistic. Big action movies like this require serious time because of cast schedules, filming, and post-production. Especially in this franchise, there are action scenes, fight choreography, major set pieces, and actors with very busy schedules like Charlize Theron. On top of that, we saw that even the second movie arrived years later. So even if the third movie really gets made, first Netflix needs to give official approval. Then the script and preparation process will come, followed by filming and post-production. Naturally, all of this will take time. My logical guess would be this. If Netflix gives the third movie the green light soon, the earliest realistic window for The Old Guard 3 looks like late 2027 or 2028. But I am not saying this as a confirmed date. There is no official release date right now. So if you see exact dates online like The Old Guard 3 is coming out on this day, be careful with those. A release date only becomes real when Netflix announces it. What will The Old Guard 3's story be about? Is the script ready? Now let's get to the most exciting part. What will the story of The Old Guard 3 be? Because everyone who watched the second movie was left with the same question. Just as everything started getting bigger, the movie ended. Discord made her move, captured most of the team, Andy and Quynh ended up back on the same side, and the film left us right there. So this ending gives the third movie a very clear starting point. Right now, whether the script for the third movie is ready, whether it has been written, or what stage it is in has not been officially revealed. But it is not that hard to guess the direction of the story. At the end of The Old Guard 2, Discord kidnaps characters like Nile, Joe, Nikki, Copley, and Tua. Andy, meanwhile, seems ready to set out with Quynh to rescue them. So the third movie will most likely begin with a rescue mission. But I do not think The Old Guard 3 will only be a let's save the team movie, because the second film made the mythology of immortality much bigger. Now, the story is not only about Andy and her team surviving, where immortality comes from, how it is transferred, why certain people are chosen, why Nile is so special, how far Discord will go to regain her power. The third movie has to answer these questions. That is why I see The Old Guard 3 as a bigger, darker movie that will feel much more like a finale. On one side, we will have Andy and Quynn's fight to get their lost team back, and on the other side, Nile's true role in this universe will be explored more deeply. And I think if the third movie happens, it will not just be another sequel. It will be the chapter that answers the biggest questions in this universe. Who will be in the Old Guard 3 cast? Cast of the Old Guard 3 is one of the most searched questions right now. Since the movie has not been officially announced, Netflix does not have an announced cast for the third film yet. But when we look at where the story left off, the names that need to return are very clear. It would make a lot of sense for Charlize Theron to return as Andy, Kiki Layne as Nile, Marwan Kenzari as Joe, Luca Marinelli as Nikki, Chiwetel Ejiofor as Copley, Veronica Van as Quynh, Henry Golding as Tua, and Uma Thurman as Discord. When we look at the actors' comments, there is no sense that they are completely closed off to the idea of a third movie. On the contrary, Henry Golding and Marwan Kenzari have spoken, hopefully about a third film. While Kenzari said they want the continuation to come quickly, Golding explained that a story this big could not be wrapped up in one movie and that there needed to be a cutoff point. So, from the actor's side, it does not look like they are saying, "We are done with this story." On the director's side, the situation is a little different. Victoria Mahoney directed The Old Guard 2, and she supports the possibility of a third movie. But she also clearly says that she would not be in the director's chair for a possible third film. So, if the third movie happens, it will most likely come with a new director. But the important thing is this. Even Mahoney is not closing the door on the story continuing. In fact, she says she will support whoever continues it. As for the question of whether dead characters could return, the biggest question mark is Booker. The second movie gave Booker a very dramatic ending. But in a universe like The Old Guard, flashbacks, past scenes, and the mythology of immortality always leave some possibilities open. It may be difficult for him to return in the main story, but I do not think the character will be completely forgotten either. If the third movie really happens, there is a very strong chance we will see both major returning names and new characters who expand this universe. Speaking for myself, I'm genuinely looking forward to The Old Guard 3. I'm already someone who watches almost every Charlize Theron movie, but The Old Guard has a special place for me. The first movie was one of my favorite Netflix action films. Those characters, the idea of immortality, Andy's exhausted but still fighting presence, the bond within the team, all of that always felt very powerful to me. So I really do have a special connection to this universe. I also honestly liked the second movie. Did it go far beyond my expectations? Maybe not, but did it give me what I was expecting? Yes, it did. Especially after the ending, my curiosity for the third movie became even stronger, because now the story has moved into a much bigger place. With Discord, Nile's role, Andy returning to the fight, and the situation the team is in, if the third movie happens, we could see either a really powerful ending or a very big continuation chapter. That's why I strongly believe The Old Guard 3 will happen. Of course, there is one reality here. If the second movie did not create the kind of impact Netflix expected, the third movie may take some time. But even so, I don't think this story will be left here. Maybe it won't come right away, maybe we'll wait a few years, but in my eyes, The Old Guard 3 will most likely happen. So what do you think? Do you think Netflix will definitely make The Old Guard 3, or will they leave the story here despite the ending of the second movie? If the third film happens, who do you most want to see? Return Andy, Nile, Quynh, or do you want to see more of Discord's story? Make sure to write your thoughts in the comments, because I am genuinely curious about your theories on this. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for new movie and TV updates. I'll see you in the next video.